and welcome one and all to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he, him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. And now let us go around and say hi to everybody, find out once again who they are and who they're playing, and today we are starting with Wilde. Hello!
Oh yes, hi, hello, I'm Wilde Engineer, he, they pronouns, and I am playing Shantano. They go by they, them pronouns, and they are an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments.
Okay, awesome. I think you're getting a little static there, just so you're aware. We could hear you, but it was just just wanted to let you know that was coming in. But in the meantime, let us go around and say hi to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I am Arras, and I use she, they pronouns, and I'm playing Aroshka Ruzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, and her pronouns are she, her.
Awesome, awesome. Now let us go around to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, and today I'm playing Mac the Husk, the non-itinerant enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits. They, them pronouns.
Excellent, excellent. And finally, let's go over to Danielle. Hello.
Hello, I am Danielle, and both I and my character use she, her pronouns. My character, as always, is Vormera Vanis, aka Lore, a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. So, once more, as a reminder, like with most campaigns on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we will back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we will fade to black on it, or put it behind a veil so it will be there, but we won't go into detail. And then finally, if we are exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that, again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're doing okay. Now, we are on a train. Last time, as I recall, we finally decided to go and deal with the folks from the Church of Midnight who had some kind of nefarious plan to throw someone off the train and thus complete a ritual that would make themselves more fortunate and everyone less fortunate. So you went forth and went to where they were concealed in one of the boxcars. You found them mid-ritual getting to throw one of their own number off the train. As it turned out, that's what they decided they were going to do. Then they had with them a sort of a paper golem that had been summoned, in the form of a jaguar, as I recall. And I forgot what kind of a cat it was, like 5 seconds after I said it last time, and so it morphed into different cats as we went going. So you dealt with that. You managed to defeat the cultists and thwart the ritual. Shah managed to trap the one leading the ceremony in her cage, and you got rid of the other. I don't know. I can't remember what you did with the others. If you just threw them off the train, or if
them off the train.
Did they all go off the train? I can't remember.
One of them we might have just killed. Or no, I think one was still alive because we were asking him questions.
That's true. I think you had one prisoner, one dead person, and one person who had been basically unentrained. whatever the word is for that. That sounds fancier than unentrained because that sounds like something else.
Like defenestrated, but out of train.
Yes, defenestrated. What is the defenestration term for trains?
What's
That's
the
what I need to
technical
know.
term for a train?
Yeah.
Detrainistrated?
Yes, they were detrainistrated, and dealt with in that fashion.
That's French. Let me find out.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
Let's find out what French for train
Do they?
is.
And I mean, if the French don't have a specific word for throwing people off a train, then I'm damn sure the Germans do. So it's going to be one of those. But anyway, there were a couple of other things going on. As part of the setup for this, Mac managed to summon a couple of low-level spirits of the hunt to come and help out. Those two spirits being a large and particularly violent hedgehog, and a very chill orangutan who used a crossbow. Those were that was Lanch and Bob, respectively, and so they helped out with your attack on these people. I'm sorry, seriously, the French for train is just train?
That's
Heck
fine.
of it.
I
am thoroughly disappointed. Maybe it is detrainistrated then. So, wow. Okay. So that happened, and
Anyways.
yeah. As you were questioning, Shaw used her magic, to rather thoroughly question the cult leader in the train, and after questioning her and the other cultist survivor, you came to realize they were not quite on the same page, and that the one leading the ceremony was in fact from another organization entirely who had infiltrated the Church of Midnight. This organization is one whose name I'm sure I have in my head somewhere, but I'm going to have to open a document so that I can remember what their name actually is.
The Vespertine.
The Vespertine, yes, thank you. The Vespertine, whom no one had really heard much of, but Mac sent off a query to Charles Abernathy, who had heard of them as something of a rumor more than anything else, but as an organization bent on destroying everything, basically. The destruction of everything. And that, I believe, is where we left off. I think it is going to be, unfortunately, more or less at this point, that Shaw is going to experience once again a bit of fading into the gray, taking her prisoner with her. So it is not going to be possible to question that prisoner further right now. It's like very shortly after you get that answer that they are gone. But now you have this other prisoner who knows absolutely nothing aside from, what they were doing according to the Church of Midnight. And there we are. And you have those and a couple of spirit animals. What would you like to do?
So, what do we want to do with this guy? Vor kind of like nudges the one that she was reading the mind of with her foot.
Damn it.
Do we just let him go? I feel like that might be dangerous, considering.
Could just throw him off the train too.
It's true. He might survive. Leave it up to fate.
We could have a stern talk with him about why he shouldn't be a member of the Church of Midnight first.
And then hook him off the train.
And throw him off the train.
I like that. We'll do like a stage intervention.
Yeah. And be like, and because you were bad, your punishment is that we're going to throw you off this train. Good luck.
I mean, that makes sure that they can't perform this ritual on the train anymore. If there's none of them left on the train, by definition, they cannot perform this ritual on the train.
True. And then we could go back to, who was it that we promised? It was literally like the engine of the train, wasn't it?
The engineer, yeah, I think.
Yeah. Go back and tell them
We've solved the train problem. Or the concern that they had about something bad that was going to happen on the train.
Yeah, I mean, we did throw the ritual vessel off the train as well. So even if they could restart it, they're missing stuff.
Yeah. They'd have to put a lot of effort into starting over.
Arras. That's the name.
Well, if we are determined, I don't mind having a stern talk with this kid.
I like this idea.
Anybody want to come with me? Stern talking to?
I'll help you give him the stern talking to, sure.
Well, I mean, we can just do it here. I mean,
yeah, I mean, we can toss him out right over there. Points to the open door where we threw someone out 10 minutes ago.
The cultist has just sort of been looking back and forth, increasingly worried.
Let's drag him over to the edge, and then we'll have the talk, and then we'll just.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait. Do we want to have the talk while we're hanging them out of the train?
I feel like they'd have a hard time focusing on what we were telling them.
You may not be able to hear as well with the wind.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we should just tie him down into a chair, and then I don't know. Lance looks like he could just stand over there in front of him and look intimidating.
His quills are just bristling right now. He's so excited about the prospect of getting to interrogate someone.
We already did the interrogating. He doesn't know anything.
You sure we shouldn't interrogate him just a little bit more, just in case?
Well, no. I think what they plan on doing is a lot worse. I mean, it's basically just gospelizing, missionary work. Just.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be speaking from a place of experience, since apparently I destroyed the whole world one time, so I can give him a stern talking to about how.
But your personal
bad.
experience should make it more convincing.
I know. It's bad. You shouldn't be with those people. They want bad things.
So we just drag this guy over to the edge, right? Like.
Yeah, and I'll be like, look, do you know who I am? You have any idea who I am? People have a tendency to know who I am.
No, wait, what are you doing?
Well.
Aren't you going to turn me over to the stewards?
No. We were firmly instructed to make sure that this ritual could not be performed on this train, and if none of you are on the train, then the problem is solved.
Can we wait for the train to stop?
I think it was supposed to slow down at some point in the near future. Maybe by the time we're done having our little chat, it'll be going slowly.
Oh, crap.
You're trying to steal all of the luck from this train, so we're going to teach you a very important lesson about luck.
She would know.
And we're going to do that by leaving it up to luck whether or not you survive.
But we want you to remember. We want you to remember that the reason this is happening to you is the Church of Midnight.
This
What?
is their fault for getting you to enlist and asking you to do this. In the
They're not
first
making you throw me off the train.
But they made you perform this ritual. Because you felt the need to perform this ritual, we had to stop you and are therefore throwing you off the train. So it's ultimately their fault.
Oh. We should probably like attach a note to him so that when the Church of Midnight finds him, we could send them a message. Like a warning.
That's
yeah.
right. Actually, Vor did want to send Invelosa a message. I forgot about that from last time. Vor will get out like a piece of paper and write a note that just says, "I know what you did to me," and sign it for Maravanas, and then just pin it to the front of the.
Well, you see, I don't think that's very secure. And Mac is going to take that note off, and he's going to fold it up all nice and neat, and then produce a duct tape, and he's just going to duct tape it around the guy's chest, as well as binding him. And
Thanks, Mac.
You know, if you let me go, I could just make sure that she gets it. I could deliver it in person and make absolutely certain.
But
Well-
if you do it by walking up to them, I think it fails to deliver a.
There's a certain component of the message that doesn't come through if you just show up with the message, and also you wouldn't have learned anything.
Wow.
This is an object lesson.
You folks are really hardcore. Have you ever thought about joining?
Extremely no.
Hard pass.
I mean,
We're sort of the opposite, doing the opposite of that, trying to stop it. It's bad people. I should know.
Well, don't you guys work with a guy named Dark-Eyed Manfred?
what? Who's that?
Oh,
This guy seems like he's just sort of a lackey. Did you know you were a lackey?
I mean, honestly.
I mean, yeah, it makes it easier to not have to think about it.
Think
And see,
he's
that's
good
part
for
of your
you.
problem. You didn't think.
I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, we have to. We're supposed to vent our desires so that we're not a greater harm.
I think stealing the luck from an entire train full of people constitutes greater harm. I am once again an expert on the subject of greater harm.
She really is. You should listen to her.
No, the whole point.
You can ask if you get back. When you get back, you can ask about me. The name's Roshka Ruzik.
The whole. It stops for a second when you say that, and it's just like, where have I heard that name before? I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
He's well published.
Oh, okay.
Shantanu, do you have anything that?
I think we might have some of your books.
I wouldn't be surprised. The advice in most of those books is probably terrible. Again, expert on the subject of greater levels of harm.
Well,
You are with us, Shantanu.
yeah, you're here. You're here.
Oh, I thought I was gone since I wasn't there.
No, I'm sorry.
You're in
Were
the middle
you,
of this conversation.
were you trying to say something and then we couldn't hear you? Was something?
Oh no! Like my character said, like, oh, I don't know. Do you have anything else to add, Shantanu?
Didn't think I was in the area yet.
Oh yeah, no, you're there. You're here.
Chantal would be like, well, I don't know what's going on. I just got here.
We're throwing him out the train. That's what's going
Oh.
on.
Like,
Yeah, you see,
That
they've
was
got this guy that's sort of tied to it. I guess tied to a chair, and then they're getting ready to. They've got him like at the edge of where the boxcar door is, and with the landscape going by.
You say that like it would face Shantanu.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
It's like, hey, What's up?
We're just trying to impart some wisdom before we huck him out.
Oh, do you need me to provide a swift kick? I can.
If you'd like.
Yeah, you want to do the honors? Wait. Has he learned his lesson yet?
I don't know. Have you learned your lesson yet?
Well,
No,
you trying
I
to hurt
really
him?
thought that him falling off of the train would be the actual impact of the lesson.
I mean, this all sounds very much like the kind of stuff that I mean, this sound not to be contradictory or anything, but this all sounds very much like stuff that some of our more advanced classes.
Again, personal expert on the subject of greater harms. If you're trying not to commit greater harms, I'm the worst possible example. So you should strive to not be like me.
I mean that's kind of the point. We tried the idea is that we are otherwise we're harms to ourselves, so we externalize that, and it.
Do you know what being harmful to other people is a really good thing at doing? Making enemies. And if you don't want to be in harm to yourself, don't make enemies.
Case
Maybe
in
find
point.
a hobby.
But I mean,
Case in point, we're your enemies, and
Right?
well, look what happened to you.
well, yeah, but I mean, this is kind of awesome because the better your enemies, then that's a better measure of what sort of a mark you're making on the world.
I think you
Dude,
have
I'm not
very-
even going to remember your name after we throw you off the street.
I'm not sure I know what it is right now, honestly.
Truly, I don't know what your name is, and I was reading your mind a minute ago. So you're not making as much of a mark as you thought you were?
Mostly you're just a nuisance.
Basically, you need to go rethink your life. And we're going to give you the opportunity to do that.
He's just like, well, that's just hurtful.
I know, it's like a twist of the knife.
Wait, can they survive being kicked off the train?
We're going to find out.
He's got a chance.
We're giving him a chance, and that's realistically more than he would have given all the other people on this train if their ritual had been completed. So
It wasn't going to kill anybody.
You're taking their luck.
luck
I meant
away.
Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
survive without luck.
It would have grown back.
And how many of them would have died before it did?
Think of all of the money that a professional gambler would have lost if they had all their luck stolen from them.
Oh, I know. Can we just finish the ceremony targeting only them, and then they can learn the lesson by knowing what it feels like to have no luck?
Well, this one's the only one left.
The urn is gone. We kind of can't.
Oh,
That too.
Our plan worked a little too well.
Yeah, I think one of them's dead. One of them we already threw off the train. You know, he might have survived. We could link up and teach him all about the wonderful life lessons he just learned from us, aka the worst role models. And then there's one like the leader, except apparently not. I
Is
don't know.
in Shaw's cage, who is
Yeah, it's just gone.
somewhere. She'll turn up.
oh, if we have a leader, I'm sure they can tell us how to do the ritual.
When are you people going to throw me off the train?
I don't know. Have you learned your lesson yet?
I mean, yeah, sure, yeah,
Shantano,
absolutely.
you wanted to do the honors, right?
Whoa. I mean, hang on a second. Do you guys have a spare urn around here?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right. Shantanu?
Sure. What's the best way to do this?
I feel like you're all very kind of confused about your own paths, so I'd really rather you just throw me off the train now if you don't mind.
No,
If you're
I
gonna
don't
do it, just
remember
do
like
it.
anything about my past, except apparently I destroyed the world. So you really shouldn't try being like me. It's a terrible idea.
Also,
Really?
we're not going to fall for this reverse psychology nonsense. We really are throwing you off the train.
Shantano's just debating the best way to do it. Give them a minute.
I mean, I don't think you're going to. It doesn't seem like it.
Shantano's gonna tip them over so that they're falling out as slow as possible.
So, you do this is like,
As it's happening, Aroshka's gonna scream, "Do you feel educated?"
Do you feel lucky?
it's just he seems to be chanting something over and over again now.
All right, we better make it.
Give him a little smack. Stop that.
Ow!
No more chanting.
It's a mantra. It's good for you.
Don't care.
I'm pretty sure they're falling out at this point.
I mean,
Screaming out the door.
are you actually going to throw him off? Or are you going to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done.
All right.
Was that not the plan?
Yeah, I didn't.
What's the plan?
I missed the part where you let go. That's the thing. Oh, okay, that's
No,
when.
I was just tipping them over slowly.
Okay.
Jon was just making it last as long as possible.
Oh yeah.
Safer.
Okay. I got you. Okay, so yeah, you eventually. So it's like he gets to the point. He's like, "Are you sure? Because we can still talk." Ah! And you throw him off. And I'm going to draw a card real quick.
This card better tell us whether or not he learned his lesson.
Well, I mean, it's a good question. It'll perhaps be somewhat all-encompassing. We will see. So the card in question that we're picking up here. Oh, that's interesting. It's the Misremembered Dream. It is favors blue magic, does not favor red magic. The One of Mysteries means confusion, mistakes, change in identity. Dreams are strange constructs of our subconscious made stronger still because we don't remember them clearly. Some say that in shadow, people's dreams seem strange because they're remembering the actuality, and in the actuality, people's dreams resemble the mundanity of the gray. This is at least in part true. But of course, like anything having to do with the deepest reaches of the mind, it's much more complex than that. The line between memory and dream is already tenuous, but the memory is a dream, or is a dream a memory? Who can count on that? Yeah, so the thing is, you tip him off. And so wherever he hits, he's not going to hit the ground outside, because as he is tumbling out, he seems to vanish into the gray. So he seems to be not quite... He seems to lose his tenuous grasp on reality for a moment. And wherever he's landing, it's somewhere back in shadow. So
Lucky.
it's not certain whether he has learned his lesson or not.
There's something about change in there.
Yeah.
So, do we need to tell anyone about this, or do we just go back now?
I think we might need to go talk to the train's engineer again, and Arras, and let them know that we've dealt with this threat to the train.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's I think that's it, really.
Hopefully, at some point, we will actually end up at our destination.
Yeah, I mean, we could ask while we're there how much longer they think that they think it will take for us to get to Yestervale.
Mm-hmm.
You can totally do that. So you're going back up to see Boris?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Excellent.
We'll way forward on the cars again.
Yeah. So they come through the cars. voyage back toward the front of the train. So you come back through the other boxcar and through the garden car, through the various passenger cars, and the garden car. Not the garden car. You already did that. You go through the garden car about 3 times for some reason as you're heading to the front. You pass through the parlor car and the where the bar is. Through the dining car. Not as many people are on the train at this point. And actually, it is kind of on your way up there that the train stops at its next destination. So you're sort of, it stops as you're leaving the dining car, and you're heading up through more passenger and sleeper cars up through the Duchess's private car. And she's just sort of like
Mac is going to hide his head a little bit.
I think we're laid over for about 6 hours right now. Are you going to step out and see the town here?
Oh, we have a really important conversation we have to first.
All right.
After that, maybe.
I think I'm going to head out for just a little bit. It's been a while, but I do have to be careful. I might go out for just a brief period, but I do have to be careful in case there's anyone out there who wants to kill me.
I mean, always.
Take every precaution.
Did you solve your problem?
We did.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So that it's not going to be possible for them to kill me then.
No,
Nope.
the Church of Midnight will not harm you.
Excellent.
Definitely
Good.
shoved
Good.
them off the train.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That does rather take a load off my mind. It shall be considerably easier now, perhaps, to deal with things at the estate. But we shall see. And she's kind.
All this time, Mac is sort of just hiding his face because, remember, he did charge the open bar night that they all had.
That
to
is
the Duchess's
true. That is very true. She's not saying anything about it. It's possible she does not know yet.
Maybe she'll consider it payment for the fact that we shoved the Church of Midnight off the train.
Well, Mac is not going to bring it up.
She gets up and she's actually going to be heading out to just check out this little town that you've stopped in. But it's a little town called Carmenth. I say little town. It's about 15,000 people. And you see a bunch of people, as you know, sort of are in between cars. You kind of see, you've seen a bunch of people getting off the train at this point. This is probably where the bulk of the people who are left on the train are headed. So you head, you head over to the, you knock on the door to the,
Engineering
the
car.
next car. Yeah, the next car. The conductor's car. The steward opens it, and you just kind of will, you'll see Aidase is brought back over. Aidase, the conductor, remember, she is bald and has glowing silver eyes. She steps forward. Hello again.
Oh.
Is there something I can help you with?
we just wanted to come back and inform the engineer and yourself that we have taken care of a potential problem on Barris's behalf.
As requested.
She nods. Oh, very good. Very good. I think he might be a little busy at the moment. So is it urgent?
No, I think the urgency's over.
Yeah,
Shove the urgency off the train.
I don't think it's urgent that you inform him necessarily. We just wanted to make sure that they were aware.
Oh yes. Okay. Very good. I can make sure. I can make sure that he's informed. Are there particulars of which you want to make certain he is informed?
Just that there was a rather unfortunate ritual planned for the next few hours that will no longer be taking place, which should ensure the safety of the passengers.
Oh, I see. Yes. No, I see there. Then, if there was a ritual, he'll probably want details. All right. If you'll come with me, I can. I'll see if we can catch him for a moment. Just because I think that's going to require just a bit more specific attention.
Sure.
Certainly. And then she turns and she will head to the other side, and gesturing for you to follow. You head once more into the coal car.
Yeah.
The conceptual coal car. Which you have navigated before, which makes it a little easier this time. So as you manage to wander through and around the different ideas about the idea of coal, you find yourself once again in the inside in the engine area, moving from the coal car once again to the engine, and you see once again there in the wall in front of you above the furnace is the engineer, and you see that he's not. He doesn't. His eyes don't appear to be there right now. Exactly. It's like they are. It's like he's sort of just staring out into space at the moment.
I'll just look at Idasi and should we? Do you want to? Just sort of waves her hand at him for a second. And a moment later, you just sort of, his eyes blaze to life, and you hear, ah! Oh, and then there's something like a clang behind him. And he's, from somewhere in the engine, he's like, "What is this? What is happening? Why do you return?"
We're just here to report about the thing you asked us to do.
There is progress, yes?
A lot, yeah. It's taken care of.
Ah. What was the threat you discovered?
The Church of Midnight was trying to conduct a ritual to steal the luck of all the other passengers on the train.
And you hear this sort of steam coming as he seems to be thinking.
We've solved this problem by removing the Church of Midnight from the train.
Interesting.
We also destroyed the urn thing. They needed to do it.
There is something missing. What was the nature of this ritual? This luck ritual?
We're gonna shove somebody off the train?
Sacrificial, then.
Yes.
They were gonna use one of their own members.
This is unsettling.
We agree.
Something about this does not make sense. You can see the eyes
say that about a
flare
lot
again.
of things in Saturnine.
The eyes flare again, and you hear more steam coming out. I shall ponder this.
I'm gonna lean over to Aroshka and Mac and Shantanu. Do you think we should tell him about the Vespertine being involved?
Yeah, maybe he knows something more about them than we do.
Who's the Vespertine?
So the lady who looked like she was in charge of the Church of Midnight was actually a spy for a different group called the Vespertine, who want to destroy everything. I think, I'm not sure.
Interesting. Could be important.
I think that might be maybe would help make more sense of it. Yeah, let's. I'll turn back to the engineer. One other important note: the leader who was conducting this ritual was in fact a double agent for a group known as the Vespertine.
The Vespertine?
That the very same.
And at this point, fire erupts from his eyes
I duck.
for a moment. And more steam comes out to the point that he's obscured almost for a moment. And then it rises up and you see him again. Supreme danger. This is not over.
What do you mean?
You speak of a society that wishes the annihilation of everything.
Well, sure, but that's a bit bigger than this one train. I think we've eliminated the danger to the train, at least for now.
Also, the Vespertine person is in the gray at the moment, and even if they weren't in the gray, they're in a cage, so...
They're not getting out anytime soon.
Also, just as an aside, I don't think it's really our business to meddle with the Vespertine. We're just avid brunch enthusiasts.
I mean, fair.
How we're going to describe ourselves from now on. Avid brunch enthusiasts.
We're a brunch club.
I love the idea that we're starting to get a reputation, and we just show up someplace, and people are like, "It's those people," and we're like, "Yes, it's us, the avid brunch enthusiasts."
We just show up, eat brunch, deal with a problem, and then leave to go find brunch somewhere else.
And people
Deal with
who
the
have
problem,
problems
possibly
start,
destroying something in the process.
people who have problems start opening cafes to try and lure us there.
You can get them to show up if you serve brunch.
Has to be good though.
This- To disturb the train is to disturb progress.
Oh, of course.
This is a problem more ponderous than all the rails in the Indigo.
Okay.
That sounds like an accurate statement.
How dare they? How dare they seek to unseat this scion of order?
Couldn't agree more.
We were also wondering, while we're here, how much longer you think it'll be before we reach our destination? Seeing progress.
Well, let's see. We had. Hang on. I'm just trying to remember. You've only had one night, right? That you've slept on this train, as far as I recall.
I think so.
Okay.
1 or 2.
It's a 3-day journey. You asked him to slow it down, so
Well, we
that it
don't
could
need
be.
to slow it down anymore.
Yeah.
We still asked him to slow it down so that the Midnighters couldn't do what they were intending to do, but that's really no longer necessary at this point.
Yeah. There was. I think you might have actually. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you might actually have had 2 nights on here because of the.
Not sleep for one of them.
Because there was. I'm gonna have to go back into my brain and see where I can. And by my brain, I mean the VODs. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's the easiest way to do it. The morning after tomorrow.
Okay, so 2 days from now, more or less.
Yes, provided all is kept in order.
Good to know. Thank you.
For if the train collapses, so collapses the order of all. And at this point, the conductor is just sort of like, okay, he's starting to get that way. We should probably go. He likes to exaggerate a little bit about.
Can we get comped for meals for our good work?
You already made a deal, didn't you?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he changed the timing of this trip for you. He never does that.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask a question. I was like, so when you say collapsing, what exactly does that mean?
You're asking the engineer this?
Yes.
Just as one pebble being thrown down a mountainside can start an avalanche, so too can the halting of the train start the destruction of all. The train must have a schedule.
Okay.
The engine must persist.
And this wouldn't happen to have any relation to something called the collapsing conundrum or anything, right?
And there's again, his eyes sort of flare up for a second. What is this conundrum of which you speak?
I'm not sure.
Those about
See,
the
that's-
Vespertine, but not the collapsing conundrum.
That's why I was asking.
It is
you.
a Vespertine construct?
No.
What is it then?
History?
You're saying... What is this collapsing conundrum? I must know!
Oh no, it's in a book.
And you can see that basically his eyes are starting to get more just sort of they're starting to glow more feverishly as they're going between yellow and red really quickly, flicking back and forth. And you can hear more steam erupting. And the conductor's like, okay, I think we probably need to. Oh dear, no. We should probably just not bother him any more with this, because then that might affect things somewhat. Yeah. No, it's all right, Boris. It's all right. We'll get it sorted out. I'll start a file on it. See that you do. This threat to the train must be uncovered. Yes, Boris. Thank you. Yes, no, it's fine. I'll take care of it. And she's starting to try to kind of lead you back out of the engine. Are you going, or are you staying?
I'll go.
Leaving.
Yeah.
Boris seems like he needs a break.
Or drink.
She's sort of leading you back out, and as you're stepping kind of from there back into the coal car, you can faintly hear behind you, "This conundrum must be found and uprooted!" And then, just basically it sort of fades into the quiet as you enter the conceptual space of the coal car.
And Johnson was like, well, since the conundrum obviously has nothing to do with the train, I guess it's safe for me to research.
You'll have to forgive Boris. He thinks that everything is related to the train. Everything in the universe, he feels, revolves in some way around the operation of the train. I'm sorry you had to see that.
He sort of is the train, so I guess that makes sense. I mean, if that was my whole existence, I can see where I would also think everything revolved around the train.
Yes, I keep telling him he needs to take a break and detach and actually leave the train for a while. But he just he hasn't listened. He's not he's been doing this for quite a while. I think the last year or so without any last year or so without any breaks at all.
That's just not healthy.
No, it's what I'm trying to tell him, and he sees to his needs magically, but at the same time, he has he has issues.
Have you tried forcing them to decouple?
Oh, don't use that word around him. By the way, that's a no-no.
Not say decouple.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, but we've talked about it, and I think we're going to get somewhere soon. We think we're working with I've contacted a couple of professionals we're going to start working with when we get back to Saturnine. That'll hopefully help things out a little bit. May I both love and hate this thing that you have put in the chat. I feel terrible about this whole thing. So much pain. So much pain. Yeah, no, it's she says no. It just sort of leads you back through, these ideas of these even more frantic looking now ideas of shoveling coal and pushing things ahead. Progress, engines of progress, and the coal car is now just abuzz with activity at this point. It's oh dear, yes, it's going to take him a little while to calm down now. So perhaps it's just best that, yes, I should probably not have brought you in to see him. Perhaps it's best in future if we just pass messages at this point. He is very excitable sometimes, and it looks like now is one of those times.
That makes sense. I think that's completely fine. And, let us know if there's anything else that is needed.
Right. Thank you. Yes. I think I think you've done quite enough. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And she will kind of show you back through through her car, back to where it meets up with the Duchess's car.
I'll turn to the others and be like, brunch?
Yes.
Always.
I mean,
A job well done should be celebrated with a meal.
that's what I feel. Dining car?
Well, you could do that if you so desire. You also have a town here, where it's still the train's going to be here for about 6 hours. So if you
Brunch.
want, you actually could go and go out of the car. You could actually get off the train if you wanted into this
Is there a
little
list
town.
of restaurants in the town?
Yeah, is there like a little guidebook of like all the different places that the train is stopping where we can look for a good brunch place?
Yeah, I think there is. Because this is kind of
as much as we love the little ice cubes that run around the train ice cubes that run around the rim,
yeah.
new experiences are good.
Yeah, I mean, this is there's little brochures. The train had brochures for Carmonth, and for this layover, and so apparently there is a fair in town. This is not like the World's Fair that you attended earlier. This is smaller. As a kind of a little traveling, yet another traveling carnival, that is that is here, yes. So you're going to, so that's one of the things. I'm going to draw another card as you're stepping off the train to kind of look at this. I presume you're stepping off the train. If not, or are you just looking at the brochure to decide if it's worth stepping off the train?
Are we good with checking out the town for a little bit since we have some time?
Yeah, might as well.
I mean, if there's a fair, always get fair food.
Funnel cakes.
It's just possible they might have funnel cakes.
Awesome.
Or meat on a stick. I always want meat on a stick.
Everything's better if you put it on a stick.
Facts.
It's
facts.
true. It's very true.
We need to go collect more material for our food blog that we're gonna start.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So I've drawn the endless woods. It's green magic is up, pale magic is down. This is the three of mysteries. Its meanings are sound, nature, mysteries, the dark side of the forces of life.
Mystery meat on a stick.
The woods and the wilderness are untamed and unsafe. Travel through them is perilous. We hear things all around us that we cannot see. Trees and undergrowth conceal dangers and perhaps wonders. The Endless Woods is the location card of Mystery's family, and rightfully so, for it is the very home to the unknown and perhaps the unknowable. So, this is one of those towns. It's very hilly out here, and this is one of those towns with a lot of cobblestones, a lot of stone sort of built up alleys that go different places. I don't know. The closest thing I can think to relate it to is kind of like San Gimignano to an extent. But it's sort of less fortified. It's an open area. It's not like there are walls to the town, per se. But one of the most famous restaurants in this town is called the Enigma. And apparently, the idea is that, unlike most restaurants, where you order a thing off of a menu, this is more a question of where they will present you with clues in the manner in terms of dishes to help you figure out what the menu item you're eating is. So it's kind of like, in that respect, somewhat kind of like a fondue place.
I mean, this just sounds like a great experience.
I mean, I'm down.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
So they give you the menus after they give you the food, you think?
And how else would you know if you were right or not?
So they have that. There is also a fare with food, for folks who get desperate trying to figure it out and just want to go.
We can do both.
You can. This is true.
We could have so much food.
There's...
The question is, which first?
I feel like we should go to the Enigma, and then if we're still hungry afterwards, we can fill up at the fair because we can have as much food as we want.
I think it'll be easier to pick up like a nice dessert at the fair if we want to, after we've had our nice meal at the Enigma.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. So you head up this twisty winding street that goes up like a couple of levels, and you find yourself outside of the Enigma. And so the way this works, once again, it's fairly popular. A lot of people have just gotten off the train, and a lot of people are here trying to have lunch. And the system by which you get in is that not so much that you take a number, but you have to kind of guess the number that the person who lets you in is thinking. If you can guess the number that the maitre d' is thinking,
oh, this is perfect.
then they will let you in.
This is
don't
like
have a mind reader.
tailor-made for Vor. We are so getting in. I will walk up and read this guy's mind and just be like, yeah, you're thinking of, you said it's a number, right?
Yes.
I will rattle off whatever that number is. I'm assuming it's like some wildly high number or something. Or else it's like ridiculously low.
Well, come on, you have to put a little bit of drama into it.
So, well.
Pretend to analyze him for a minute or something.
We'll play like a game of 20 questions. Is it more than 500?
There should be
exactly what it is. She's just hamming it up.
I feel like you should make a bet at some point in there with this guy.
I bet you I can get it correct on my first go. If I'm right, you have to give us the best table in the house.
So you're going to be fairly successful because this is not anything very high level or anything. So the only
Do you want me to roll for flux?
yeah, I do want to see if you roll for I do want you to roll for flux. I'm going to send you the number. One way or the you're gonna get the number one way or the other. But oh, look at that.
Oh my god.
Okay. So here's the number. And so the maitre d' who is standing up there, he is he looks like as though he is part lizard. He's standing up at the podium. He's like, right, no, anyone have a guess? Anyone have a guess?
Did you take my bet about knowing the number on the first go?
The best room, eh?
Yes.
You want the full experience then, eh?
Was there a less than full experience on offer?
Oh, well, some folks just aren't up to the are just so overwhelmed when they get into the best room that they just can't take it. But
escape room.
I'll be happy to. We'll be happy to give you the best room if you can guess the number right off the bat.
Possibly more likely to be overwhelmed by us than the other way around.
Your number is 3,115.
Correct. And at this point, so you see banners drop down behind him, in front of this place, and he's like, "Ha ha! Oh well, it looks like we're doubly surprised because that means you get to face our ultimate cuisine challenge."
Bring it on.
And he will, he will gesture to. For some reason in my mind, this is morphing into some strange, twisted version of Iron Chef. I don't know why. But he gestures to the door, to the front door, doorway which is open, and it's like there's this suddenly this shining purple light seems to emanate from it, and you can no longer see what's beyond the door, and he says, and you can step into the very heart of the Enigma, and from there be nourished.
Shall we?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, it could be fun.
They're going for it, folks, and everyone just starts applauding.
Well, at least we'll get a good story out of this, I expect. What'd you say, Arras?
I said for our food blog.
Yes, we're a food blog. Someone get their notebook out. And then, yeah, Vor walk in.
Okay.
Why not?
So, all right. Does everyone? Vor walks in and vanishes. Does everyone else follow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I maintain that they might be more overwhelmed by us than the other way around.
I mean, it's understandable. So let's see. Okay. I'm going to draw a card now. Because this is suddenly turned into something much more than I thought it was going to be. So it's time once again to consult the Sooth deck. Okay. So I have drawn the Eternal Mountain. It is a visions card. Its meanings are unchanging: solitude, memory, eternal, and long life. The mountain stands alone and unchanging. It always has, and it always will. Some find this compelling, others terrifying. The mountain sees all and never forgets what it has seen. And it is the location card of the Visions family. Okay. So let's see. Yes, I agree, Kitty. It is a strange time.
Mad at me.
So, you find yourselves in a room at the center of which is an hourglass. And sand is draining down from the top of the hourglass into the bottom of the hourglass, sitting on a pedestal. Arrayed around this hourglass are these several several skewers with different kinds of with different things on the end of them. That look like they could be pieces of food. But then some of them look like rocks. And some of them look like... they're on these tables, right? These skewers are sitting on this sort of round sort of table that goes all the way around the column in the center. And so some of the things on the ends of skewers look like they're sort of soft sponge-like. Some of them look like they're rocks. Some of them look like natural objects. Some of them, there are a couple of them that look like someone has put like a very small roller skate on the end of one. There's what looks like, I kind of want to say, a thing that looks like kind of a knife. There's a thing that looks like a chocolate chip cookie. There is a thing that looks like a playing card.
We're going for that first.
There's a thing that looks like, and there's stuff that looks like toothpaste, stuff that looks like wood.
We're just gonna pick up the playing card and lick it.
Tastes like a playing card.
Okay, well that's...
Is there food at this brunch?
But you hear this voice booming down from above. The Enigma has begun! What is best with time? You will have 2 minutes to decide what combination is best with time. And then you will be presented with the Enigma.
All right.
Good luck, everyone! And you see around the room, these other hourglasses appear, and all simultaneously turn over to take away the time.
Okay. So we have to figure out what goes best with time.
Yes.
Can you run down the list of the items again?
No. There are too many. There's a thing that looks
Roller
like
skate and a cookie.
there's a cookie, there's a card, there's a playing card. There's a rock. There's like there's a knife. There's a roller skate. There is a see. There's a piece of wood. There's a thing that looks kind of like toothpaste. There's a thing that everything looks like a kind of either a natural object or a manufactured object.
I'd look at the others and be like, I'm leaning toward the rock.
That's kind of where I'm at right now.
The rock goes well with time.
Yeah, rocks are pretty timeless.
Takes an awful lot of time to break down a rock.
Depends on your method.
Well, yes, but left kind of naturally. I mean, does someone else have a better idea?
I expected there to be more food at this brunch, honestly.
Well, I'm reserving judgment until we've had the full experience.
I guess we'll go with rock then.
I mean, if we like, where are the hourglasses exactly? Are they out of reach?
Yes, they are. They're hovering above your heads.
Oh,
You're gonna try to grab one of the hourglasses?
I can.
Time, go with time.
Yeah, I mean, you might be able to reach it if you're sort of looking at it and you're looking at the it's just a little bit out of reach.
If I jump.
Are
Possibly.
you hoping to taste test things with time?
You want to try to kind of jump up and grab one of the hourglasses?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not going to be too difficult. But yeah, you do it. You leap up. You grab it. You've got it in your hand. One of these hourglasses. And you hear this kind of like, because it's almost like, it's kind of like an electrical short out for a second, but as the other glasses kind of realign themselves.
So what happens if we eat time?
Never tried before. At least I don't think I have.
Are you going to try to eat the hourglass?
Our customers now have 1 minute to decide which elements they think are going to make up their dish, and
Pick more than one.
and insert them in the and insert them at the hourglass.
Oh, we need to put things in the hourglass.
Oh, okay. That wasn't clear in the directions at the beginning of this game.
Well, it is an enigma.
All right. Well, I guess I'll pick up the rock skewer and stick it in the hourglass.
Okay, it does. You throw it in. You sort of stick it in the hourglass, and it's like this golden light erupts when you hit the side of the hourglass, and it goes in, and you sort of and you see this visual of the rock being broken down into something like glowing particles that go down into the bottom of it.
Oh, interesting.
And you're putting it into big hourglass, right?
Yeah, the big hourglass, presumably. That's what I'm assuming.
I shove my small hourglass into the big hourglass.
Okay. Again, you hear another thing that's like, you just sort of jam it in there.
It's like, will it blend?
And it's like, there's a second where it's like, it's almost like there's static inside the hourglass, but it does break down and go down. An interesting choice. I wonder if it'll be the right one. 30 seconds to choose your third and final ingredient.
Oh, we have to have another ingredient.
Mac is going to stick the
cookie?
wood into the.
You're going to pick up the piece of wood and
Just jam that in there.
Okay. Okay. So you've chosen the rock, a smaller
More time.
hourglass, and a piece of wood. Okay.
This is going to be interesting.
All right. So there is so there's a brief flash as it goes in there. All right, all 3 ingredients have been chosen. Let's see what happens. And the hourglass will run out. All the hourglasses around you will run out. And the top of the hourglass opens for a moment as there's you see this glowing, just sort of almost bubbling inside this hourglass. And quite suddenly, a massive spray of golden sand comes up out of it, which seems to, for a moment, engulf everything. But it's when it hits you, it's more like, it's not like actual sand hitting you. It's more like maybe being hit with glitter. And it obscures your vision for a moment.
Oh no, you can't get glitter out of anything.
No.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna be glittery for the rest of the day.
Not even reality. And when it settles down, you are all sitting around a campfire. Or standing around a campfire. And it looks like, at the edge of a lake. And there is above the campfire there's this pot sort of bubbling. And there are more of these longer metal skewers that are there, and you get this sort of this smell, this very sort of the smell of wood burning that sort of comes up from the fire. There is this particular smell that it has that it's been too long and I can't remember how to evoke it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. It's like it's sort of twilight. It looks like it's twilight right now, and you hear crickets. And the odd thing is that as this is, these skewers have what look like different kinds of meat on them. You're not sure what kinds of meat they are. And there are some cheeses. There's like a cheese plate. And there appears to be a bottle of some kind of wine and several goblets.
About that wine and cheese.
There are 8 different goblets, and they are all different colors.
Oh no, this is some Indiana Jones BS.
The skewers.
What color are the goblets?
And as you look at them, you note that the skewers also have are like there are 8 of them, and they are also similarly have 8 different colors. The cheese plate is not color coded; it's just cheese.
Well, that seems safe. I'm gonna go eat some cheese.
There are skewers, some smaller skewers next to it that are empty if you want to put them in the pot. But yeah, it's or one of these, and you look sort of into the pot, and it looks like there are several sub pots inside the pot. So that this is kind of like a fondue thing, but then also not.
I'm just gonna get a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Also, as you're noticing, next to the cheese plate, there are, it looks like this bowl with a bunch of that sort of is sectioned off with like a number of different sort of chocolate type thing, different types of chocolate in it. and then some wrapped chocolates that looked like they're in the shapes of hourglasses. And the wrapped chocolates, all each again, there are 8 of them, and they each have different colors.
What colors are they? Like, is it just like blue, red, yellow, green?
They correspond to the suns.
Ah, okay. Makes sense. Interesting. Hmm.
So there's a silver one, and silver one, blue one, red one, green one, a gold one, a gray one, an indigo one.
Vor's gonna pour herself a glass of wine into the gold goblet.
Okay.
Take a drink.
Drinking gold wine. Okay. Well, wine in the gold goblet. Okay.
She's gonna offer. Does anyone else want any?
An interesting thing happens when you sip the wine. As you sip the wine, you're reminded of the last major change you went through. But while you're sipping the wine, everything stands still. And you have it's like, so there are these birds flying over the lake, just freeze in midair. The crickets stop. The smoke curling up from the fire stops. And it's just you and the taste of this wine that is bringing you these thoughts, these memories. And last major change, you'll have to tell me if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know. I feel like there's been several things that have happened over the course of our last year that would qualify as a major change for Vor.
Yeah.
But I would say probably the thing that has impacted her the most was Variegan's death.
Yeah. So your mind kind of goes back to that, and you are reminded of, and you had been seeing Variegan before or after the war?
Basically. Yeah, it had happened. It was like a one-night stand that had happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
A couple of years, but like knowing that finding out how much more it had meant to him, and then seeing that he'd gotten killed for something she had maybe some responsibility in, or she feels like she did.
So you get kind of this as you're tasting it. So you're reminded of that. Mm-hmm. But it's not something where it's like, how long you want to be reminded of that just depends on how long you take to sip the wine.
She'll probably take a sip and like let it sit in her mouth for a moment, like you do with wine, to like taste the flavor, and then swallow it and stop drinking.
Yeah, to everyone else, it looks for a moment as though you just like, and then it's like sort of this jump, sort of, because no one else was eating or drinking anything at the same time as you. But yeah, so that's the experience you get from that.
Okay. Borja says the wine is a little bit bittersweet.
Can I try the fondue?
Sure. What do you want to put in there?
Just meat and cheese, I guess.
Okay. Which colored skewer do you pick up to put meat skewer do you pick up to put in there?
Which colors are there again?
The colors of the suns. So it's
Black.
So I should have this memorized by now. It is, here it is. So we have silver, green, blue, indigo, gray, pale, red, and gold.
I'll go with gold.
Okay. So you're going to put the gold meat in there. And you can smell it. It smells pretty good, whatever it is. So the cheese just is of course melts nicely in its sort of sub pocket where you can dip the meat if you want, or just scoop cheese out if you want. Yeah, you put you get the meat and it tastes like two things. It tastes like change, and it tastes kind of like one of the more positive potentials for change that you have experienced recently or had thought of. The type of meat it depends on whatever you associate with that kind of change. If your most positive potential life change was a type of meat, what kind of meat would it be?
Oh, Lord.
Phrases we never thought that we'd hear ourselves utter.
Oh, it's the venison. It's like
yeah,
venison.
so it's like venison, yeah. And you get this sort of this light, just sort of amusing kind of thing from it of potential for change from it, and then also cheese, which is good. Does anyone else want to try anything?
Yeah, Mac is actually going to try mixing. He's going to mix some pieces of the blue and some pieces of the green.
Ooh, okay. So you're going to take are you going to take part of one and put it on another skewer?
Yeah, so what he's going to do is he's going to arrange it so it goes green, blue, green, blue.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Green, blue, green, blue. So you stick that in there. And yeah, everyone notices, and Sean, you sort of notice this time seems to slow down and stop when you eat the meat, and if you can take as long as you want to savor it, basically. It's basically, this is what happens anytime you ingest anything from here. Mac, you go green, blue, and what you get is it's like imagining the concept of natural growth, concepts born from natural growth that have occurred to Mac or would occur to Mac. And because it's the meat, then you get this very, it's got a sort of a positive slant. This idea of it's sort of like being able to see if something were to, and it's not just growth, because growth by itself, to a certain extent, that's more Gold Sun, but it's like something growing into its natural state. So, if there's any example of that anything that Mac would associate with that, or a memory of some kind that Mac would associate with that, with a positive slant to it, that is what kind of is coming to mind. This sort of tastes like, this is the kind of meat that tastes like you taste it and you know what the nature of a thing would be if it were just on its own, sort of on its own devices. Unsullied.
Interesting. I think it would probably be images of his, like a flash of pattern of images of his advancement through the Order of the Goetica.
Yeah.
Like the trials that he had to do. Most prominently, the last one that was arguably the most contentious of
That's fair.
of events.
Over at the Eternal Stare.
Over at the Eternal Stare.
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
With Vor's friend.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there was... So yeah, you basically... anything that was sort of positive from that experience was kind of its, like, sort of the accomplishment of the thing, actually figuring it out, dealing with the thing. And it's that kind of meat. Which I guess might be jackalope meat, I'm not sure. But...
Poor jackalope.
Yeah. Maybe it's not jackalope meat per se.
Artificial jackalope meat.
Yeah. Jackalope tofu. I don't know. But it tastes of that. Eroshka, do you want to try anything?
I'm kind of interested in these chocolates. I'm gonna eat a silver one.
You're going to eat a silver chocolate?
Yes.
Are you going to let it melt first, or are you going to melt it in the pot first, or are you just gonna eat it?
Yeah, let's melt it in the pot first.
Okay.
If we're doing the fondue experience, let's do it.
When we melt the essence of creation. Oh, shit. Okay. Hiroshka is melting down the essence of creation and tasting it. It's the chocolate.
That's kind of ironic, given her destructive nature.
Right? Seems like this would be a new experience.
So... For a moment, as you're tasting this melted down essence of creation, it's like this is the type of chocolate that oh my god. Why was it Eroshka that ate this? Anyway. So here's the thing.
Natural contrarian.
The thing about destroying the world, you suddenly remember. The most exciting thing, you think, probably, about destroying the world is the Big Bang when the next one is created. And for a moment you're experiencing, it's kind of like, do you know what it's like to be the Big Bang? Because tasting this chocolate is kind of like that, to an extent for you, because it's like you have memories within you of an idea about recreating the world. To an extent. It's not like you were trying to end the world. But more the idea that a world can be shaped to be made better if you discard the impossible. And what I mean by discard the impossible is I don't mean don't consider the impossible. I mean don't worry that it's impossible. And so in more tangible terms, like if you were to create one of these, like I guess sometimes they call them half-worlds that are drifting off in the, sort of in the northeast side of Saturnine. This would be what kind of that feels like. Setting in motion. And the creation. A wondrous creation. And it's a very intense and pleasant feeling because it's chocolate. So it's that kind of chocolate. I'm not sure what kind of chocolate that is, but it's whatever kind of chocolate Aroshka would associate with that kind of creation. Yep.
That kind. Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
Kat.
definitely.
That's so,
Do with that what you will. You kind of imagine this is why you used to come up with ideas for these kinds of insane devices, or these things that you couldn't build yourself, but you could get help building them. Because there is a hell of a rush when you create something. More specifically, you think it was like this when you used to create new spells. More recently, like if you set something up to, when you talk to something for the first time, and it's something that you kind of, it's like maybe either a thing that you made or a thing that you had some history with. It's kind of that sort of rush. And I think, I don't know if anyone had any immediate reactions they wanted to make based on this, or immediate conversation or what have you, but if you want some time to digest it, and figure out what it is that you're eating, we can go ahead and bookmark it here. By the side of this lake. Inside the Enigma. Okay. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead then and do our outros. We're going to go around and get everyone to tell us where we can find them and any thoughts they have, any final thoughts they have about this session. The session where Jim finally went off the deep end. And is this the session? I don't know. And we will start with Danielle.
Everyone.
Wait a minute. I apologize. I did it again. I freaking did it again. I'm sorry.
Joy and despair.
Joy and despair. Ah. I don't. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and do this first because I keep forgetting. My apologies. Wilde. Do you think Shantano got joy or despair this time?
I think they may have gotten some joy from eating that fondue.
Cool. I can see that. Sure. All right, Arras. Do you think that Arushka got any joy or despair this time?
Well, I don't really think so.
Okay.
Pretty average day.
Yeah.
Roshka.
Like, oh, great.
Threw some kid off a train, ate some really existential chocolate.
It is very existential. Okay. And Anino, do you think Mac got any joy or despair today?
No, not this week.
Okay. And Danielle, do you think Vor got any joy or despair today?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Okay, now, now that we've gone through that once again, we're going to go ahead and do our outros, and we will start with Danielle.
Hi everybody, I'm Danielle. I'm at RyRaconTour on Twitter, where you can follow me for all kinds of nerdy content. I am not currently streaming anywhere else, but I'm hoping in the next week or so, it sounds like my Star Wars Vagabonds game is going to be back over at Roll for Change. So you can stay tuned / follow me. And if a Star Wars game sounds like a thing that you would be interested in, I believe all of our content is up on YouTube right now, and it's also going to be released as a podcast soon. So you can go back and check out season 1 in the interim if you'd like. And then as far as thoughts on the session go, we really do need to start a food blog. I mean, that's, and I think we have to adopt Avid Brunch Enthusiasts as our official party name. So I motion that.
It fits, you know. Awesome. And over to Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. You can reach me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. Yeah, classic episode today. Threatening someone homicidally and then going out to brunch after. So, you know, cool stuff, as always. Let's see, you can catch me on here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for another exciting episode of Ghosts of Saltma. And then next Thursday on this channel again at 7 p.m. Eastern for the final mission of the Sprawl. We'll see how that works out. I'm pretty sure my teammates are going to get me killed.
No, we'll be fine. Absolutely fine. Just because we've upset every major corporation. They're all out to get us. Awesome. And now over to Arras.
Hello, I'm Arras, or Animus. You can find me as Animus Panthera or Animus.Panthera practically everywhere, but I'm mostly on Twitter, where I am currently giving away a set of dice every month. So if you want to win some dice, go check out my Twitter. It should be somewhere at the top of my profile. The only place you can currently watch me playing games is right here every week on Saturdays playing Invisible Sun. Otherwise, I like to chat about gaming, cosplay, and animals because I'm a real life zoologist on Twitter. And that's me.
Yay! Did we do final thoughts about the session, or are we good?
I think pretty much covered it.
Okay,
This is,
cool.
pretty the quintessential avid brunch enthusiast episode right here. Throw some people off a train and then go eat brunch.
Yeah, I mean that's how that works. That's your average day. Oh, God.
Wreak some havoc. Some kids like, you guys seem like terrible role models. We're like, yes.
I never said we were role models.
And finally over to Wilde.
Yes, hello. I'm Wilde Engineer. Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. I guess you could also catch me on the 17th on Make Believe. We'll be playing some dialect. Today was fun. It was nice tipping someone over. You know, you get them to that point where they feel like they're losing balance and they just can't stop it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we're definitely not role models, especially when someone is trying to or contemplating romancing murder or the concept of murder.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's tricky. It's tricky. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, excellent. All right, and as for me, who am I? I'm Jim. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some of my fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. Just once more as a reminder, this channel is still involved for as long as the Sprawl campaign lasts. We are involved in a drive for donations for the Bale Project. We are Team Phyllis, and I've put the link to that in chat for anyone who wishes to contribute to that charity which helps give bail assistance to protesters. Very important right now. Also, as always, I'm trying to raise awareness for Campaign Zero. I can never remember. Bail Project Campaign Zero. There we go. Because sometimes my brain mixes them up a little bit. But Campaign Zero is an organization dedicated to ending police violence, and so I also recommend folks check that out. Let's see. In about an hour, I'm going to be over on Off the Table, playing in their Otterthon. We're playing Fear Itself. It's the last game of the Otterthon this month. It's a monthly thing, and so that's going to be fun. It's a Gumshoe powered horror game, and so I'm very much looking forward to that. Tomorrow afternoon, we are having a one shot of The Deep Forest. That is a map drawing game based on The Quiet Year, and the idea is that it's about creatures living in an enchanted forest who have a year of relative peace after human colonists have gone away. So that's it's I think a very cool version of that game. So we're going to be playing that. Then of course Sunday night, Dark Matter: Ghosts of Saltmaw, Ghosts of Saltmarsh in Space, run by Alyssa, which is a very awesome game. Very glad to be getting back to it. On Monday night, I am over on Salty Sweet Games playing in their 5e campaign, Strange Invasion, Assault on the Barrier Peaks. On Tuesday night is the finale of our campaign, mini-campaign of Casketland, back over here. That is an occult western that's powered by the apocalypse. During the end times is when it's set. And they're going to go and fight a cult, or do something with a cult, maybe bargain with one. Don't know. We'll see how they deal with it, because they're running out of water, and they need to. And then over on Thursday night is the Sprawl, as previously mentioned, our powered by the apocalypse cyberpunk game, and I cannot wait to get our last mission started. I think it's going to be awesome, and hopefully no one will get killed. Hopefully, and let's see, it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Let's see, right now, no signups are officially running right now. I am going to be opening up signups soon for some one-shots in July of Stille Nacht, which is a very cool sort of ghost story type game, historical ghost story game. And there will be a one-shot of Monster of the Week that's going to be run by Pope on this channel on one of the Sundays. And so I'm going to be opening up signups for that sometime relatively soon. So look for those. As always, beginners are welcome. Basically, you can get to it the usual ways when we get around to that, clicking on RPG signup, or going to just jimyesthatjim.com and clicking on game signup. So when we hit the end card, what shall we do? I'm going to go ahead and send a raid over to Off the Table, probably. I think that's what I shall do. They are still in their game of Apillion, which is, I think, a game about playing dragons who are friends, that kind of thing. It's a very My understanding is it's a very happy making game. So we're going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week. Farewell.